Two bodies were found in the South Bay today. We have the latest in the investigation.
A longtime restaurant now sits empty in the Midway district. Viewers want to know what's going on with the vacant Red Lobster building.
County leaders criticize proposed changes to the county charter. Why they say some of those changes are self-serving.
We revisit the Shalom Wildlife Hospital in Solana Beach, and they need your help.
A hometown chef raises $500,000 to feed the hungry, and he's not done yet.
Tonight we're following breaking news out of the South Bay where two people have been found dead in what authorities tell us are separate incidents. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Stephanie Simmons. One of the scenes is near Bayer Boulevard near Otay Valley. That's where we find News 8's Alex Cheney, who has been on the scene since we first heard of this breaking news. Alex, what have you learned?
Well, it seems that we have two tragic scenes happening. The first one is right here behind me. That happened a little bit earlier this morning where police found a dead body just on the shore of Fenton Pond. And then another one just across the bridge here, this one more into Chula Vista, where another dead body was found earlier this morning. Here's more. The San Diego Police Department says around 11:30 this morning, they responded to a report of a dead body found in the water of Fenton Pond near the Otay Valley Park. Video from our chopper showed the scene below, and a dive team was there to search in the water. San Diego police and the medical examiner have not yet officially identified the person in the water.
They did pull somebody out of the water. Very tragically, it appears to be a Hispanic male in his teens. The officers did not find any sign of apparent trauma, so the medical examiner was called. So the medical examiner came. They were not able to identify the body. They don't know who it is at this moment.
While we were here today, families showed us a poster of a 15-year-old teenager named Julian. He's been missing since yesterday morning. They're concerned the body found in the water is that of their missing family member. They say a homeless man found Julian's bike and then directed police to where he found the bike, and that's when they found the body. Here's what a neighbor had to say.
Julian's my neighbor, and I've known him for a very long time. Unfortunately, we just found out that he's no longer with us. We've been trying to find him since, well, I was helping since yesterday at 8 a.m.
Okay, and so now the other dead body in this case was actually over in the Chula Vista side. That one's being handled by the police department in Chula Vista. They did contact us earlier today to let us know that that dead body, found about 10 a.m. this morning, was of a man in his 60s who's believed to be unhoused. And as of right now, both the San Diego police and the Chula Vista police have not released any official identities of those bodies. Reporting live, I'm Alex Cheney. Back over to you.
All right, Alex, thank you. A new report says deportations are leading to overcrowding and strained resources at ICE facilities in California.
The report was published today by the California Department of Justice. It looked at 7 immigration detention facilities in California, including the one you see here in this file video. It's the facility in Otay Mesa. On that specific facility, the report says it has experienced a surge in population that leads to a lack of available beds and toilets for the entire population and inadequate access to food and water. Housing units were often 20 to 30 people over capacity. The report also says the Otay Mesa facility is the only one in California that had a policy to strip search detainees after each visit for non-legal contact. That includes things like visits from family members. From abandoned storefronts to empty restaurants, we continue looking into properties viewers ask us about the most.
Tonight, we're digging for answers about a vacant Red Lobster building in the Midway district. News 8's Brian White is working for you to find out what's happening with that property.
Yeah, another commercial property catching the attention of our viewers. This vacant Red Lobster building is hard to miss here along Sports Arena Boulevard, one of the busiest stretches here in Midway, and people want to know what's going on with it.
There's no signage on the building. There's nothing that says coming soon, and the place is in good need of a paint job and a good cleaning, honestly.
Red Lobster shut down this Midway location 2 years ago, along with several other restaurants across San Diego County, and since then, this building has sat empty. So I started digging for answers, reaching out to business owners in the shopping center, and learned this entire Sports Arena Village property, including the vacant Red Lobster, is actually owned by the city of San Diego. I then tracked down the property manager with Douglas Allred Real Estate Company and learned this shopping center operates under a lease with the city that expires at the end of 2028. And she's been told it's all slated for redevelopment. That looming deadline is one of the main reasons they've struggled to find a new restaurant tenant to move in here.
Well, it was really active at first, but now it just sits there. Yeah, it bothers me, and I think what a waste.
I also reached out to San Diego's real estate department. They confirmed the property is under lease that does expire more than 2 years from now, and said there's nothing further to announce right now about the site's future. The uncertainty is already creating concerns for longtime businesses here. Next door, Phil's Barbecue says it's repeatedly asked the city for clarity about future plans. The company tells News 8 it even proposed relocating into the vacant Red Lobster building because that corner property could potentially be separated from future redevelopment plans. But they say after more than a year of outreach, the company still has not received a clear answer from the city.
It just seems strange to have such a big space that's vacant in a prime location like that.
The Sports Arena Village property itself is not part of the Midway Rising development project next door, but with the current lease expiring in just over 2 years, businesses here say they're still waiting for clarity about what comes next. Working for you in Midway, I'm Brian White, News 8.
Brian, thank you. News 8 is always working for you, and you can stream more of our stories right now on the CBS 8 app. Just download on your phone or TV for free. Right now, a political fight is playing out over the rules that govern how your county government actually runs.
Last month, the Board of Supervisors voted in support of a plan to amend the county charter. But today, Supervisor Joel Anderson and other local leaders are pushing back. Shannon Handy explains the conflict.
Supervisor Tara Lawson-Remer introduced that initial proposal to change the county charter, which the board did approve 3-2. But Supervisor Joel Anderson, who voted against it, said that vote was rushed. So he is asking the board to consider his competing proposal.
Changing the charter is not a simple vote that can be reversed. This is the biggest vote that anyone's taken in 50 years on this board.
San Diego County Supervisor Joel Anderson stood with other local leaders today to criticize Supervisor Tara Lawson-Remer's proposed charter changes. Anderson says he supports some elements, including creating an independent ethics commission, but he opposes extending term limits from 2 terms to 3. His counter proposal would allow only future supervisors to serve 3 terms.
You see, in my district, the biggest complaint I had was these charter reforms were self-serving, or they looked self-serving.
He also disagrees with giving the board the power to confirm or remove senior staff.
My proposal restores that important firewall between politics and professional administration.
Anderson further argues that Lawson-Remer's plan would allow supervisors to live outside their districts, something he says should not be permitted. He's asking the board to adopt his changes or at least work together on a single unified proposal. In response, Supervisor Lawson-Remer told News 8 her plan is a result of a year of conversations with residents and local organizations. She says it would increase oversight, transparency, and accountability. So what happens next? Well, the Board of Supervisors will discuss these proposals on Tuesday. And at that point, they will likely determine how to move forward, and ultimately the decision will be made by voters because this proposal will be put on the November ballot. Reporting from outside the County Administration Building, I'm Shannon Handy for News 8.
Okay, thanks, Shannon. While Governor Newsom presented a positive fiscal outlook for the state budget yesterday, some advocates are taking issue with cuts he's making to balance the budget.
Yeah, it's the most expensive budget in state history, with some of the biggest cuts to health care programs as well. News 8's State Matters political reporter Jenny Huh explains.
This is Newsom's final budget as governor, and he says he's trying to leave the state in a stable fiscal state for his successor. But healthcare advocates worry some proposed cuts will hurt immigrant communities.
So we are balancing not just for the next fiscal year, which ends July of next year, but we're balancing for another year.
A near $350 billion budget proposal by Governor Newsom, the largest in California history. In updated numbers, Newsom says the state will no longer have a budget deficit in 2026 to 2027, as well as 2027 to 2028.
No big, new, ongoing investments. We can't afford to do that right now.
A mix of factors is behind the new fiscal outlook, higher than expected state income tax revenue, largely due to the AI boom and stock market gains, as well as revenue via additional taxes. But there are also multiple cuts on health care, especially to undocumented immigrants, a population Newsom has expanded Medi-Cal to.
It's pretty unconscionable.
The problem is that the cuts he's choosing to make end up just compounding the effects of the federal cuts because he's targeting the same populations.
There are some new investments like $300 million for Covered California, the state's insurance marketplace, but also cuts largely due to the so-called Big Beautiful Bill. Newsom unveiling plans to raise Medi-Cal premiums for undocumented immigrants from the scheduled rise from $0 to $30 to $50 instead.
Life is not cheap in California. It's going to kick people off.
Newsom also proposing switching certain undocumented populations to fee-for-service health care, which could make accessing certain care more difficult.
So if we were to keep them in the managed care system, we would not receive the federal reimbursements, which would be a lot more money that the state would lose.
These cuts on top of reductions Newsom proposed in January, like work requirements and twice-a-year renewals for those utilizing just state, not federal dollars.
Not required for California to extend the new federal eligibility requirements to these state-funded populations, the way that he is essentially abandoning his legacy to really champion championing healthcare access for everyone.
Newsom's response?
We had to deal with reality, deal with the cards that are dealt. We have universal health care in this country, regardless of pre-existing condition, ability to pay, and regardless of immigration status. We have it. It's called the emergency room. And we're paying on the back end sick care. I believe in universal health care.
Both Senate and Assembly Democrats have pushed back on the governor's initial health care proposals from January. And in response to Newsom's May revise, they both emphasized the need to safeguard health care, with the Senate saying the implementation of Medi-Cal premiums must be delayed. Jenny Ha, News 8.
Thanks, Jenny. 7 candidates competing to be California's next governor faced off in a debate last night.
Up next, we'll share the key moments from the big night as the election gets closer.
Plus, the new ruling by the Supreme Court in the nationwide battle over redistricting.
Cloud cover is out there. We did see some sunshine moments out there as well today, but we are looking at the cloud cover rolling right back in for the weekend forecast, and we could squeeze out some patchy drizzle with some gusty winds. Your complete forecast, it's ahead.